Today on Dr. Stein, Martha is the perfect housewife, or so she seems.
Hello, and welcome to Dr. Stein. Today, we're going to analyze Martha's behavior. This is Martha here. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Martha. My husband's name is George, and I'm 25 years old, and I'm a strong supporter of the prohibition movement.
All right, so that's Martha, and today we're going to look at some of her behavior. We're going to roll some tapes for you right here.
Make me another drink, lover.
Taking her glass.
My God, you can slow down, can't you?
Imitating a tiny child.
I'm thirsty.
Jesus.
Swinging around.
Look, sweetheart, I can drink you under any goddamn table you want, so don't worry about me.
Martha, I gave you the prize years ago. There was an abomination award going at you.
I swear, if you existed, I'd divorce you.
Well, just stay on your feet, that's all. These people are your guests, you know.
I can't even see you. I haven't been able to see you for years.
Pass out or throw up or something.
You're a blank, a cipher.
Try to keep your clothes on, too. There aren't many more sickening sights than you with a couple of drinks in your skirt up over your head, you know.
A zero.
Your heads, I should say.
The front doorbell chimes.
Party, party!
Murderously.
I'm really looking forward to this, Martha.
Same.
Go answer the door.
Not moving.
You answer it.
Get to that door, you.
He does not move.
I'll fix
you.
you.
Come on in! I said get over there.
Moves a little toward the door, smiling slightly.
All right, love. Whatever love wants.
Moving toward door.
Isn't it nice way some people have manners, though? Even in this day and age? Isn't it nice that some people won't come breaking into each other's houses even if they do hear some subhuman monster yelling at them from the outside?
F you!
Welcome back to Dr. Stein. Now, Martha, let's analyze your actions. How do you feel you behave in this scene?
I feel like I behaved pretty well. Trying to make everyone comfortable. It's hard to be a hostess.
Really? Because that's not what it seemed like to me. Let's call in Nellie as a specialist to help diagnose Martha.
Hello.
Hello.
Nice to be on the show.
Thank you.
Hi, Martha.
Good to have you.
What's up? So, it seems like we're in a bit of a quandary as to what exactly Martha wants. But before I begin, I'd like to hear your opinion first.
Well, on page 17, Martha imitates a tiny child and says, I'm thirsty. In fact, she's trying to manipulate her own age in order to make George get her a drink. This is patronizing, and this shows that she's struggling to assert her superiority over George. In addition, she swings around, which shows that she's trying to flirt with George in order to get him to do things that she wants. When you turn the page, on page 18, you see that George and Martha have alternate conversations, which shows their struggle for power and their inability to assert each other's superiority in their relationship. Now, did you have anything else to add?
I think that analysis is all accurate, but I think it's sort of just a general trend instead of exactly what's going on.
Can you explain what you mean by that?
Yes. On page 29, we see that Martha has a little bit more of a motive.
And what is that motive?
Your motive is that you're upset that your husband is not ambitious enough. You want him to be president of the university. You say that being married to you should be an extraordinary opportunity, a chance of a lifetime.
Well, it should be.
It should be. Okay. I think the reason you pressure him so much is because you can't do it yourself. So you need someone else to do it for you.
Nellie, I really like your points. Now, if we continue on and go back to page 18, you see that Martha doesn't even recognize George's existence. She says, I swear, if you existed, I'd divorce you. So clearly, she doesn't see George even though he's physically there in front of him. She's trying to patronize him and put him down so she can assert her own superiority over him. Now, Martha, clearly you have this desire, your struggle for power, and you want to patronize George and put him down and make sure that you're on a higher pedestal than him. Now, what do you feel is getting you in the way of this?
I would like to call a psychologist.
Okay, Nellie, what do you think?
Well, I feel that Martha is, quite simply, as I have previously stated,
Can you speak to the audience?
with her own lack of power in this situation. Because she's unable to assert her own power outside the home.
So is there any person or object that's getting in the way of her?
I would say two primary obstacles. First, the status of women in this town itself. They're unable to, increase the amount of power they have through conventional means. They have to use marriage, sexuality, and other forms of...
In fact, she calls George names in order to assert her own independence.
So, because Martha's unable to assert her superiority outside the home, she attempts to become the top dog
Inside the home. Wow, great analysis, Nellie.
Thank you, Dr.
So we see this even more on page 19, this idea of trying to assert the superiority in the home, when Martha tells George to answer the door, and George refuses, and yet Martha still won't get up and answer the door, and eventually George has to go and answer the door.
So, I'd like to hear your opinion on this, Dr. Stein. Do you think that George's answering of the door is a sign of submission, or do you think it's just exasperation?
Oh, I definitely think it's a sign of submission.
Submission? Oh, okay.
I clearly have the upper hand in this household.
I don't know. I believe that George was goading you to embarrass yourself on page 20 when you shouted an expletive at him.
Hello, and welcome back to Dr. Stein. Martha, do you remember that time you told Nick he had a firm body?
Vaguely, yes.
Well, it's on page 56. Do you remember it a little bit more clearly now?
Yes, I do.
Well, I believe that in your objective of trying to assert your independence and your authority over George in the home, you're using Nick as a tool, and your sex appeal to Nick as a tool of trying to achieve that objective, and as a tactic to try to demean George and making George feel jealous and therefore inferior to you, Martha. George.
Our son does not have blue hair or blue eyes, for that matter. He has green eyes, like me.
He has blue eyes, Martha.
Determined.
Green.
Patronizing.
Blue, Martha.
Green!
To Honey and Nick.
He has the loveliest green eyes. They aren't all flaked with brown and gray. You know, hazel. They're real green. Deep, pure green eyes, like mine.
Piers. Your eyes are brown, aren't they?
Green!
A little too fast.
Well, in some lights they look brown. But they're green. Not green like his, more hazel. George has watery, milky blue eyes.
Make up your mind, Martha.
Well, all right.
Suddenly she giggles insanely subsides to George.
When is your son?
Giggles again.
What?
Distastefully. Something about your son?
Son?
Where is your son coming home?
Giggles.
Oh,
Too formal.
Martha? When is our son coming home?
Never mind.
No, I want to know. You brought it out into the open. When is he coming home, Martha?
I said never mind. I'm sorry I brought it up.
Him up? Not it. You brought him up. Well, more or less. When's the little bugger going to appear, huh? I mean, isn't tomorrow meant to be his birthday or something?
I don't want to talk about it.
Falsely innocent.
But Martha...
I don't want to talk about it!
I'll bet you don't.
To Honey and Nick.
Martha does not want to talk about it. Him. Martha's sorry she brought it up. Him.
Idiotically.
When's the little bugger coming home?
Hello, and welcome back to Dr. Stein. Right now we're going to begin analyzing Martha's behavior on page 76. Would you like to take it, Millie?
I would. So, what I believe Martha is trying to do here is basically her son does not exist and really never has. So, what she's trying to do is she is trying to extend the illusion that her son exists by telling Nick and Honey about him.
And giving the son characteristics.
Yes. And through that, she wishes to extend the illusion to other people, make it more real. But this backfires for her, because George and her had agreed never to mention him in front of anybody, or else risk breaking the illusion. So basically what George is trying to do here is he's trying to make Martha change her mind, which she's somewhat successful in doing, because Martha is forced to say that she doesn't want to talk about it.
I think what Nellie's saying is that George is an obstacle to Martha's objective, and can you find any examples of when specifically George gets in the way of Martha's extending the illusion of her son?
Yes. The first instance, which I've already mentioned, occurs on page 76 of this report, in which George's pressuring of Martha forces her to say that she doesn't want to talk about it. Similarly, On page 81 of this report, Martha attempts to, yet again, extend the illusion through giving her son characteristics, specifically eye color. However, George challenges Martha, saying that their son does not have green eyes, but instead blue eyes. So, through challenging Martha, he both tries to assert superiority in this illusion, and also tries to break the illusion at the same time. However, he's not entirely successful in doing either, and instead the conflict ends at an impasse.
Well, thank you so much for your time, doctors, and we will be right back after this short commercial break.